I think one of the things we could do here for everybody who's listening tonight, especially when speaking about game development, indie development in general, is to give a like. I guess you can give us a high level elevator pitch of the actual game or the demo state there is to give everybody a really good rounded picture of what that is, and
Mhm.
then ultimate goal as you move toward vertical slice of your game. Now that you've like gone and done some so user testing and whatnot at Ground Zero and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there. We can build on that.
Yeah. So the concept of the game has developed a lot throughout the past couple of months. We knew that we wanted it to be the premise is pretty much, humans living in a dogs centric world. So you know how it's kind of just a play off of how a lot of us just we talk about our dogs. Everyone loves dogs. They're all the way up here. Cats are all the way down here, kind of thing. It's just like, no, just kidding.
Showing that cat hate, yeah.
Yeah. But we kind of wanted to overutilize that fact and make fun with it. And a lot of inspiration came from games like Pokemon or Animal Crossing, Sims, because we want we want character customization, free roam, all that stuff, and different breeds are going to have different strengths and agility, all that stuff. There's going to be items but no fighting, of course. But we're really working out the mechanics of that. But it's just going to be a journey of these young kids. They all live in the same cul-de-sac, and they all want to be the greatest trainer, essentially. So we're going to be following their journey, and you are, of course, the main character, and then you're going to have the best friend and a rival throughout the journey, and we'll eventually kind of release how that story pans out. But we're using a lot of inspiration and stuff from our own childhood, a lot of stories. We're basing the town off of our hometown that Joe and I are from. A lot of just realistic qualities to kind of make it a really fun and nostalgic and emotionally engaging game. And what was the second question? What was the follow up to that?
Based off of your high level overview you just gave us, what's your next goal for as you move toward vertical slice?
So we want to, after we released the demo at GZA, we had people that were gamers test it out, and I was more fascinated, and the people that were not gamers or they were, casual gamers is probably like the sweet spot, because we kind of want to attract those people too. And we made an obstacle course, and then for the bonus level, and then the original level in the demo was it's on a time crunch. You just had to collect a certain amount of bones and coins, and then if you got that certain amount, in under the time, you would go to the bonus level. So we wanted to see how skillful some people were, and of course the animations and stuff weren't perfect. The first dog was really small that we used in the time zone, and we also had a human that you can switch back and forth with, because in the game we want the player to be able to utilize both. For certain quests and stuff like that. And I think that's a dynamic we don't really see all that much. I mean, it's common, but we kind of want to just take it on a different route.
Right.
Yeah, we got a lot of engagement, and some people gave us great feedback. Other people gave us feedback that they just weren't sure how to explain it, and that was okay, because we kind of just saw their reactions, and how they played was enough explanation for us too, and we were talking with them. That was fun. But Joe, what did you think? What was your takeaway from that? And where do you see on the development side where we can take that feedback and can we evolve it into?
So a lot of people had some good feedback. I think one guy stood out in particular.
Oh yeah.
Well, he said
that guy.
That guy.
Fucking guy.
I know.
Sorry.
You always get that
Keep it
one
going.
guy.
We're
You always
doing
get
good.
one guy.
Is his name Landon
Or Dave Atsy?
or Dave?
I don't know if they were there at GZA.
Landon was. I don't know if
Landon
Landon
was.
played. He'll have to let us know in the chat.
Dave Atsy's over in Australia playing with turtles. It's okay.
Awesome.
Keep going, Joe. we digress.
Okay, so this guy, I guess he had worked on some video games before. He worked on some games with Unity, and his recommendations were that of basically segmenting the game into sections with natural boundaries. So like bodies of water could lead to later stages of the game, and you could naturally progress to those later stages of the game by teaching your dog how to swim. I was like, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
We got a lot of feedback that was generic, to be quite frank. It was just like, oh, I like it. And it's like, that's great. I'm glad that you like it, but I need you to articulate what you liked about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the art style, which is something that we enjoyed because it was actually a pretty easy post-processing shader that we did. So
yeah,
I mean,
it's going to be low poly for the most part. At least we're trying to keep it that way. And I forgot to mention it's an RPG. If
There
that
it is.
helps.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sorry, an RPG. I really should have said that earlier, but yeah.
And what's the art style?
So it's basically
amazing.
It's basically Wind Waker. It's cell shaded.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
great. No, I love the play on like the nod to Pokemon and like the RPG aspects of you guys' game. Only because I can think of like a bunch of different play on dogs and stuff like that you can do, like anything from having dog shows. You said you already had an obstacle course as like a bonus level and stuff like that, doing more stuff like
demo.
that.
Yeah,
in the demo.
There's gonna be a lot of mini games and stuff too.
Traveling the local pounds and like finding new dogs. Like, you
Trying to
can just do a
rescue
bunch
them.
of stuff.
Rescue
I mean, just
missions,
go ahead and
yeah.
just like keep nodding to those other Monster Hunter and all those other games and stuff like that. And just, like, and then just twist it into for dogs. It'd be great.
Exactly.
Dude, yeah. We have a lot of we
Yeah,
have so many good
that one
like
was for free.
ideas. And, yeah.
You be careful with that feedback Charlie gives you. He'd be like, first, now you need to get them some FIFA uniforms, and then
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of content. We want to kind of sell the game in expansions, but as seasons. So the game is going to begin in the season of summer, and it's going to go. The next expansion will be autumn, winter, and then spring. But with that, you get to play the game in progression. It doesn't really matter like where you really start, but the world is going to be obviously look like autumn. You're going to have autumn apparel, all that stuff themed.
Introduce a husky in the winter.
or at the all-you-can-eat buffet.
There's a lot. There's going to be elite breeds and basic breeds that you get to start out with, of course, and you get to unlock certain ones. And we talked about just fantasy elements. So whether that's just certain lore in the game, there might be legendary dog breeds that are completely made up, but I think that just gives more expansion to the world, and we think that stuff's really fun. And even apparel and everything, like dogs can have booties, so they'll get more traction on ice maps, and like wherever your journey is, or if you're doing like mini games are just going to be ways to boost up your stats and all that too. But the main journey, the main story, like a lot of that stuff is going to play in there, and feeding your dog. But we also want to give off a lot of good I guess just good ethic in training, a real dog. I mean, the dogs are gonna, in the story are going to be rescued. Because I recently just rescued a dog too, and it's just a very rewarding feeling. And there's a huge issue right now, and that's what we want our game to kind of solve. And is just awareness and people to acknowledge that it's a real issue. So we partnered with 2 local animal shelters, no-kill animal shelters, one in Burbank and then the other in Las Vegas. And we're gonna, after our crowdfunding campaign, which we'll talk about in a bit, we're going to donate 10% of our proceeds to them.
Nice.
Because a lot of my friends are very loving, carrying animal. They're animal lovers, and one of them, is a professional dog trainer, and I learned a lot through that too. And they're very like majestic creatures. But I think making a game that kind of celebrates that is going to be incredible. But we're going to be shooting out a whole bunch of concept art eventually here. We're getting some characters designed. I wish I could show something, but talking about it I think helps just the most and everything. But it's going to be a very engaging game, and I'll have to like save the rest for maybe like when we come back on when the game's more developed and stuff too. But
I mean, if you're having trouble like describing it, you can just show us some stuff, so it'll be good.
yeah,
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
exactly.
I think like one of the best parts about making a game about dogs is not only like giving the education about how to ethically raise them and that we should be saving them from pounds, but just like the sheer amount of dog puns that we've gone through has been top notch. It's really been amazing. We have too many.
Yeah,
we're gonna just shoehorn all of them into the game.
Yeah, especially like movie titles like Jurassic Park and Paws, like Jaws, and like we want to like make fun movie posters on like details, like there's a movie theater outside and like now playing like Paws or just random movie titles. But we're still working on different character dynamics of who you're gonna run into, because we take a lot of inspiration from free roaming games, and surprisingly like Grand Theft Auto and Left 4 Dead has a huge impact on this game and just how it's going to be played out level wise and interaction and the reality like feeding your animal and yourself. And I mean even the new Zelda, like you can cook and feed for yourself. Like I love that aspect, but we do also want to tailor this game towards like the younger generation too, and as well as like people our age, because I'm pretty sure we want to hit that nostalgic factor as well.
Yeah. I have a movie name pitch that I need to give you guys before I forget.
Okay.
Do it.
The Good, the Bad, and the Fuzzy.
That sounds like a Muppets Muppets title too.
Really?
It must be a Fozzie. That's probably why.
Maybe Fluffy, the Good, the Bad, and the Fluffy.
The Good, the Bad, and the Fluffy.
It's so fluffy.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, well, definitely. I mean, I write all this stuff on a list. I'll add that to the list. Like all those little ideas and stuff, I store them away. They don't go to waste.
And it's perfect timing because you guys are talking about this dog game and rescuing dogs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Today is my dog Lucy's birthday.
Oh, no.
She's 11
happy
today.
Birthday.
Wow, happy birthday.
And she was a rescue. Yeah, she's good in there, man.
Man,
it's the best.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Ricky's my transition dog because a couple of years ago Lucy got sick, and I was telling everyone, if she goes, I'm not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So everybody told me to go get another dog because I need my transition dog.
Yeah, that's like a rebound almost.
That's how important they
now
are.
It's just awkward in his household.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like, but we do want to talk about a lot of those emotional points because when you do get a dog, it's in most cases like you're gonna outlive it, and you got to give them the best life, and they deserve that. And so especially with our characters being so young, is a perfect opportunity to kind of really throw in those life lessons and how to take care of them, and because they're family also. But we need to make it fun and engaging. This is not some leapfrog educational game. This is like we want to be top level and quality, but we want people to learn through just engaging content and funny at often times and badass. So